Hi guys, BVG Hill here, and welcome back to what will most likely be the last episode of Kentucky Route Zero. I'm going to try and finish her up in this one, even if the episode has to be a little bit on the longer side. But I don't think it will. But we're here in the Hall of the Mountain King. I don't know why we're here, but there's an old man and there's Andrew and Amy in here. Let's see what they have to say for themselves. What's up, Andrew? Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune softly. Where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What's that song? Oh, you've caught a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth, something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my love a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on, it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is what we were talking about. What's that computer over there? It looks pretty vintage. Looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot, or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... To Shannon, you look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused transistor circuitry? Sounds like it would short circuit. Certainly, but not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others, and it grows in non-linear, chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit through a simple application of classical horticulture, but we can't produce specific results, only tendencies. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kangs! But we are mere gardeners in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels. Boundless and bare, the caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. What? Did you say something? You were about to tell us about the software. Oh, the software. My life work. Xanadu. You've heard of it? Perhaps you've read about it in a journal? It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in literary multitudes, hypertextual narrative as post-structural witness. What a mouthful. Jeez, Pete's. Evolved and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you're too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted. Then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I drive deliveries for a small antique shop and we're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Alright, let's go talk to Amy. What's your story? Talk to me, girl. What's up? Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart, while really, you're in love with the young woman as well. And as you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment, just me and my thesaurus, steaming up the windows. I'm not sure you should be listening to this, kid. I'm not listening. But of course, it couldn't last. You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that, inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. So I went back to the university and studied human-computer interaction, and then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours, I played around with the doomed love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Alright, Amy, you're a little strange. What do we have to say about the fire, I guess? Sure, let's talk about this big mother-humping fire in the middle of the room. Nothing to say about that? Nothing? Okay, let's go back to Donald then. Let's go talk to Andrew over here. What's your story, bro? Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space, the one we're standing in now? Seems endless. You have no idea how right you are. Decades of mapping and notating, but how can you tell? What formal quality makes it seem endless, you know? There are tunnels everywhere. We're surrounded by them. Look at that one, up there. Do you know what? No. Let me explain to you what's in that tunnel. You won't be scared. Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Only if you close yours. Okay. I can do it from memory. Good. Now, you are standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Oh. Here again. How disappointing. Sorry to, disappoint. No, it's my fault. I shouldn't be so attached to the future. It's always getting in the way of my work. Better to be in the moment, carefully observing and documenting with no attachment. Let me give you an example. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing, someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as a real labor, instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into a computer, and I've put in the hours, believe me. I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often, in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They could only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write, and all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. Okay, there's a gate. Does it just wander off into the caves for us to get lost for all of eternity? A massive gate constructed out of scavenged materials blocks passage down the far side of the spire. Roberta? Oh my god, there's people everywhere. What is going on? What's up with you, Roberta? You look a little more tattered than everyone else. The kingdom is in peril, Roberta laughs. Well, what else is new? Where's the kingdom? You're in the throne room. There are 3 legendary treasures hidden throughout the castle that will restore these ruins to their former glory. What do they look like? She's messing with you, kid. Ha ha ha. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, a magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales, and then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally, now I carry the firewood into senescence. The kingdom is in peril. Alright, let's go check out Xanadu then. At least they put up a tarp. Doesn't seem like it's helping the mold very much, according to them. Boy, is this an ancient computer. How do you think we get started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Then let's run it. Let's run this sumbitch. See what it's got under the hood. Maybe it's got the new Titan X in there. I doubt it, but maybe. Xanadu. Oh. Hello. Whoa. Everything's gone trippy. Look at the mouse trail. Xanadu. Upside down. Flipped it. Partially. It's gone. Oh. At Den of Ardu? You are stalling the gates, the speed of not it. This thing is in rough shape. Try blowing on it. Tommy blows some dust off the keyboard and presses the return key. Okay, that's worse. Try typing help. I'm gonna take Shannon's word for it. Help. Help. Dit single dit. In bled quit? Click furiously. You're in the quit. Let's say it over computer. It crying on the phone. Did that say Lula? Lula. Damn, I can't tell what she's saying. Oh, I have my portable degausser with me. Old systems like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field. It sort of warps everything along whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around it until it's a uniform again. That's how I like to think of it anyways. Like shaking a snow globe. Worth a shot. Go for it, Shannon, before this thing blows my eardrums out. Oh. Hall of the Mountain Gink. Oh. Well, okay. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. I saw that. This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. It's not a lost cause. We'll fix it, guys. No? Okay, we're not going to fix it. Act 3, Scene 5. Or 6. Hall of the Mountain King. Bizarre. And what was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. Alright, let's go back to Donald. Oh, it's one giant circle. So he's over here somewhere. Alright, Donald. I'm coming for you. Coming for you. Oh, man. Feels so good when you crack your neck real nice. Oh. I love it. And I actually decided to go to bed a little bit earlier last night, so hopefully this means that I'll be able to, like, you know, be myself a little bit more. And like yesterday's videos, man, I felt like I was going to fall asleep the whole time. Jesus. So, you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? Pretty busted. The chalky bones of a beautiful dream, but you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There's so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. First we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. Then we caught a glimpse of one. What'd they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're Strange. Should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me, but it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yeah, of course. Do you know her? We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together. Do you know? Lula, Joseph, and I? Lula's gone from here, but Donald points across the cave with his pipe. Still in there. In Xanadu. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway, but Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation. Until... But maybe... Those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. May be dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines, crawl out into darkness, watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees from rock to crystal, and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. Dude, smoking mold. That can't be good for you. Dude, Donald, you're gonna kill yourself. Act 7. Jeez, this has a lot of scenes, I mean. I didn't get a chance to read that. Damn it. Okay, now we're in a graveyard? Hello? Oh. Okay, I had to click. Where are we at? What happened to Johnny? By the way. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Or a look inside. I guess. I want to stay outside. Okay. I'll stay with him. We can look for lizards. Okay, we'll make it quick. Alright, Shannon and Conway. The original 2. Alright, Junebug. Or Ezra, talk to Junebug there. Find any lizards? One, but it went under a rock. That's lizards for you. Is that guy your boyfriend? Nah. What's a boyfriend anyway? It's a word people use because everyone else does. Doesn't mean anything to me. He's my cricket. See? It means something. It's specific. I want to be specific. I think you are. It's the middle of the night and here you are in a graveyard. Any other kid your age would be in bed. You just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line about a half-foot shorter and all gray. No eyes. They were going to have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. Bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player we hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over, and we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto the road, just these 2 featureless shadows, and ever since that night we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. I feel more like myself every day. I think I should be a musician too. Is that right? I'll have to keep an eye on you. Oh, they're back. What'd you find? Anything? There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Right, okay. We got what we need. Let's go. What was in there? Act 3, Scene 8. Hall of the Mountain King. Again. Alright, let's talk to him. Donald, we went into the creepy church. Trance in orbit round the road, and close your eyes with holy dreadful. On the mold and whiskey fed, and drank from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh, soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to scrape the mold off the timing crystals. But the mold, of course. Too much mold on the timing crystal would send the simulation adrift. Each moment lived out of sync. By all means, yes, clean the timing crystal. Alright, to Xanadu. Alright, let's use it. Use Xanadu, clean the timing crystal, travel to another world. Do you see anything that looks like a timing crystal? Yeah, right there behind the control panel. It's filthy. Right. We're supposed to scrape off this black moldy stuff? Weird. Just following instructions. Here we go. Scrape it. Scrape it good. Wow, scene 9. Good grief. How many freaking scenes are there in Act 3? Alright, did it work? Trippy mouse is trippy. Alright, let's do it. Xanadu. I feel like now that it's fixed. At end of road. Okay. It's a road with a little brick shack at the end. The door is open. Okay. You are standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. Enter building. Oh no, now we're playing a text adventure. Inside building. The lantern. You are inside a building, a storage shed for the National Park Service. There is a sensible modern electric lantern nearby. Get the lantern. Taken. Exit building. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just type a direction. North. North. Okay. Heading north. In forest. Okay. It's dark. A little desolate. You're in an open forest with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? Climb tree. I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Sorry. Can we dig a hole? Dig a hole. You can't see any such thing. Pretty limited vocabulary. South. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. East? You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components in a small handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she is doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I can pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. You're in forest. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. A small gray kitten, no more than a few weeks old, dozes comfortably on top of his backpack. Maybe he has something to say. Listen. Donald, I was just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like... Joseph runs his finger along the index card he's been tapping on, from right to left. Long, weary song, drearily gone. Dearly gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald. I've been noting the sounds of the forest with an ear for speech and an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose. So maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetic subsystem makes of these punched cards. That's a big hole. Did they discover the zero or something? Maybe? You are at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into darkness. The computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped under the strap of your backpack, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone. Yell into the hole first, see if there are pirates. I only understood you as far as wanting to yell. Yell, any pirates down there? No response. Sorry, kid. You're batting 0 today. At least we know there's no pirates. Shine the lamp into the hole. Light lamp. Your lamp is now on. Shine lamp into hole. The lamp light only reaches a few yards down the hole where the rock is coated in a slimy black mold. You can tell that the walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. Try using the rope to climb down safely. Tie rope to tree. The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Your feet slip a few times on the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. In bedquilt. What is bedquilt exactly? It looks like a bunch of rocks. Probably at the bottom of the hole, I guess? Are we in this cave? You are in bedquilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's the last trip, so everything's down here now. You make an awkward joke. Don't be so morbid. Lula looks pensive. Ask Lula about gear. Sure, Donald. May as well take inventory. I've got the tape machine and the synthesizer parts we borrowed from the School of Music. It's all tuned up to my voice so we won't have to type so much. Joseph has his slate and his punch card. She's transcribed from the poems we read him. He's got the typewriter and the paper tape reader. And you've got the CRT display. How's your pack holding up? Ask Lula about cave. Having second thoughts? I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier, as we were climbing down, I thought I heard voices for a moment, or not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices, singing, some kind of eerie, tuneless working song. I'm glad I'm not down here alone. Joseph looks uncomfortable. Jealous. Hey, Donald, can you help me, wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizer, but I could use some help with the serial interface if you have time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Help Joseph. I appreciate it, Donald. I'm not much of an electrician, you know. You know that. Joseph hands you a bunch of wires. His kitten curls up on a spool of cabling. Listen, the three of us had a good thing for a minute, wouldn't you say, up at the old place before it got ugly? I'm saying we came down here to work, to really do it. Xanadu, and I mean, we've got to be rational about this. All three of us have got to put our feelings aside for a bit and be rational. Do you know what I'm saying? Tell Joseph to back off. Joseph wipes his brow with a dusty sleeve. Seems down here we're all strangers. Permanently strange. You're interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. What the hell was that? Let's check it out. Okay. This episode is running even longer than I thought it would. Yay. In tunnels. Okay. They kind of look like blobs overlapping one another. You rush down the tunnel with Joseph and Lula close behind. They're kind of intense back there. No wonder they're still thinking about it. The tunnel narrows, and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees. Navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward, as smooth rock gives way to jagged, crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel, some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room. Okay. In crystal room. Okay. There's people that look to be just skeletons? And they're looking at us. Hi. Hello. You're in a large, irregular chamber. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak. Finally! Let's listen to what he says. The stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life, and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, then slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment, then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Why are they fleeing? They're probably nice. Seems like Donald has a thing for Lula, so we'll follow Lula. Run north. Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage as you run. Soft shadows loom perplexingly from floor to ceiling. You feel around to distinguish shadows from crystals, but eventually find yourselves cornered. You have hit a dead end. Who are they? You reassure Lula that the strangers are harmless. Are you sure? Maybe you're right. It sounds like they've gone back to work. Alright, let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact, then we'll find our way back to the equipment. Okay. In bed quilt. So we're back to the equipment. You are in bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Lula is here, panting for breath. Did they follow us? Where's Joseph? Search for him. Search. I only understood you as far as to search. We have to be more specific. The various computer and audio equipment casts angular shadows all into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile. Nothing. You select a tunnel at random. Your lantern illuminates several sets of footprints on the moldy cave floor, but they are impossible to identify. Joseph climbs down from the rope still tied above. That damn sound! Those damn voices! I don't even know what direction I was running. I wove through that network of tunnels and ran my hand along the wall, always turning left. But every turn and every rock felt the same. For all I knew, I was running in circles. Finally, I ended up here. And I hid. I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. But listen, there's one thing I have to tell you. While I was out there lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across the Zero, and I had no idea. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage and deliver mail, and they go to work and to church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned into my mind's eye. A television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, a CRT monitor, a bottle, an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet. Ask Joseph about the Zero. Donald, you've heard the same damn stories I have, but it's different. It doesn't matter now, damn it. I'm leaving. To hell with all of it. Whoa, we should stop him. You shout something at Joseph about the project you are working on together. You'll die in these damn cold caves. And what about those men? You know they'll come back. You shout something at Joseph about going deeper into the caves. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damn cave. Joseph is right. We can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon, and I'm heading down the Zero. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damned machine does with it. Lula and Joseph have left. So now poor old Donald's all by himself. In tunnels. God, this is going on forever. Good grief. Abandoned by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. Pretty thick. Sounds like Beardo had his heart broken. You wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passages for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sounds like a genius. How do you mean? Wordy. I had a guy who came into the shop once with a bunch of old radios and computers and stuff, real junk. I think he collected it going down alleys or something. Anyway, it was all broken. He asked me if I could get the tubes out and clean them up, the vacuum tubes. So I pulled every vacuum tube I could find and threw the rest out. I went over them with some rubbing alcohol and cleaned the leads. I used some nail polish remover on the glass. I did a pretty good job. Came back in the next day and I laid it all out on a towel for him so he could check it out. I got the towel from my Aunt Remedios, and like everything with her, it's really kind of nice. You know, it's red and it has this gold embroidery around the edges. I guess it was a little too nice. This guy got all excited by the presentation, kind of circled it and observed each tube from a distance, moving his head around in a weird, quick bobs like a pigeon. And then he started just lecturing at nobody in particular about the history of vacuum tubes. He talked for an hour. We went on a few dates, but nothing really came out of it. Turns out he was kind of boring. From lecturing to a date. Good grief. I was expecting like 5 scenes, but this is going on like 90, it seems like. So now we're here. After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous rocky spire. This is where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. Xanaduception. Now is the time to continue your work. Research assistance 0. Realism index 37%. Romance index 2%. Mold coverage 0%. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. Time passes. Weaver fixes some weird math with some weirder math. Rick types up some lurid imagery from a dream journal. Amy summarizes the migratory patterns of bats through the tunnels. Intruders! Strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. Now is the time to continue your work. I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the 0. Doesn't seem to be helping. Okay, fine. Try to quit and start over. I want to keep playing. Quit. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. That was a rhetorical question. Quit game. I only understood as far as you want to quit. Maybe we have to lose or die somehow in order to start over? Smash the computer. Violence isn't the answer to this one. Guess we can keep playing. Now is the time to continue your work. Maybe we have to wait it out. Okay, wait it out. Wait indefinitely. Time passes. Research assistants come and go. Ah, Jesus. You don't... That's all I had to do! You don't encounter the strangers again, but sometimes you can hear the uncanny echoes of their voices off in the tunnels. Years pass. Mold accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take to burning disused equipment in the center of the room. The black mold is intensely flammable and makes an excellent catalyst. It leaves behind a sweet, narcotic perfume. One night, you have visitors, outsiders, different ones. Then later that night, an old friend. You really did go deeper into the caves. Premature, end of file. Press any key to quit. Huh. Good grief. Scene 10. Jesus. I'm going to be recording for a flipping hour before I finish this. Mother of God. Oh, okay. It ended because Lula's actually here. You really did go deeper into the caves. Well, you were easy enough to find. I met a few of your former assistants. One can't help but hear things, so this is what became of our project. Oh. I've made some additions. Joseph stole the data tapes for the first half, so I've had some blank spots to fill. Yes, I know. He published his version, actually. I'm sorry to report that it's a bit tediously sentimental. I've been looking for you. Oh, so you found the address data. Just pass it over to Donald here. Donald, will you be a dear and crunch these numbers? We're looking to sort out a street name collision, Dogwood Drive. Isn't the Bureau going to process it? I insist. I have cycles to spare. I'll just pack my pipe and get to it. Should only be an hour or so. Andrew will carry it over to... I'll be at the Bureau for the rest of the night. Just mark it private materials for the attention of Senior Clerk Chamberlain. How do we get to the Bureau from here? The bridge. Yeah, the bridge. Through the gate over there. Now we, too, recede into history. Good night, Donald. Meet me at the Bureau and we'll get you on your way. Head counterclockwise to the cathode ray, then turn around. And it's just clockwise until you find the Bureau. Between us, I think you should drive. Okay. Go to the gate? Fine, go to the gate. Good grief. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm determined to make this the last episode, but this is going on forever. There's that banjo. What happened up there? Actually not sure. Very mysterious, ma'am. Let's get in the truck and go. Hey, girl. You got your shit. Here you are. Marianne has the rest of the evening off, so I'm minding the desk. Nice place. It is, isn't it? Sometimes I forget. The acoustics in here have a way of grinding one down. The results just came in by courier. Good news, Donald and his assistants were able to sort through the noise. I had Rick cross-reference their results against some of your records. He found a corresponding mail stop on the Echo River route. As it happens, the night ferry is scheduled to make its stop here shortly. The ferryman carries the mail and collects the garbage as well. I'm sure you can catch a ride out that way. You're welcome to wait here. I have to get back to packing. You going somewhere? I might. I'm feeling impulsive and I'd like to be ready. Maybe back to Mexico. It's been years. They still have one of my sculptures in the museum down there. Did you know? Big, ugly iron thing. Time to have it scrapped anyways. Safe travels. Try to stay out of the water. It's colder than it looks and deep. How long do we have to wait? Oh, who knows? Alright, what happened? What? In the church at the graveyard. You came out of there all weird. What happened? It's okay, you can tell them. Doesn't matter anymore. Fine. So we were in that graveyard. For sure, but it just like I'm getting a little impatient. Not because I want the game to end, but because I really want to get this in one episode. But if it ends up being like freaking 2 hours long, oh, then I'm just going to have to cut it in two and not have an outro in one half of it. And I'll have an intro in the other. I don't know what I expected. Strangers, he kept saying. Kind of vague already, isn't it? Donald's a stranger. Hell, you and I are practically strangers. Listen. Earlier in the mine, I didn't want to talk about it, but you don't have to talk about it. No, it's okay. I want to. When I saw Weaver, she was on TV. I was testing a pretty simple tube repair, flipping through channels to check the saturation, and she was just there. It was kind of horrible. I mean, I told you she disappeared. Suddenly, ran away, but we thought... You thought she was dead. Yeah, I guess I don't like to say it. Dead. And then the next time I flipped to channel 2, Weaver. It's burned in my vision now. She's standing in a room. The walls are blank, kind of gray. There's a tape on the walls, like markings and desks. A classroom, maybe? The camera's in the corner, so it's this sort of 45-degree angle into the room, and there's Weaver right in the center of the picture. I stopped turning the dial. Hell, I think I stopped breathing. Eventually she spoke, but there was no real sound, just this awful hum. I read the closed captions. She said to go to the mine. I'd find something there. I can't remember her exact words. Whenever I try, I get distracted, fuzzy. I coughs into her sleep. So dusty in here, right? Yeah, real dusty. You'd think with all these holes in the ceiling... What the hell was that? Did you hear that? Must have been the church settling. Must have... Okay, guys, look. I'm gonna have to cut this episode here, and I'm just gonna keep recording, I guess. And I'm just gonna release 2 episodes of this today, because I feel like having this ridiculously long episode up is gonna, like, I don't know, deter people from watching it, because it's already gonna be like a freaking hour long. But I'm probably still gonna put both these up today. Whatever, anyways. Remember, if you liked the video, hit the like button down below. If you really liked it, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment letting me know what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like, and any suggestions you might have for games that you'd like to see me play in the future. And last but not least, if this video just blew your mind, then most definitely be sure to share it with your friends, your family, your loved ones, random people you meet on the street, or the internet, whatever floats your boat, and I will see you in the next one. See you later!